information.
So, as you know, we're talking about running electronic environments and the changes that occur in news reporting and advertising. And one of the biggest sources of news is the newspaper. Now, I personally tend to get my news off of an app called Flipboard on my iPhone, but I never really was a big fan of the newspaper. I would probably attribute that to nobody in my family being a fan of the newspaper or ever getting it ever in my life. But in general, the trend is that newspapers are failing. I mean, recently, well, not recently, but in 2010, the New York Times even said that their historic reign is coming to an end pretty soon, and they will cease to print. They are doing quite well, I have to say, as are most people or companies that went from newspaper only to online or other media sources. They are doing rather well in terms of their applications on tablets and computers and because of the rise of that technology. But, I mean, figures are figures, and the decline in newspapers is pretty steep. 9% actually. It doesn't sound like a lot, but when you think of the number of newspapers that are out there and the number of people who read them, that is pretty large. There was an average weekday sales drop of almost 9%. I mean, so when you think about every week, that definitely adds up. In the 6-month time period ending on March 31st, the Audit Bureau of Circulations reported that 6.5% on Sunday sales and 8.7% during the week dropped. And those reports are actually based on hundreds of newspapers that gave their data in. Nearly all of the major newspapers and many of the smaller ones have lost circulation. Among the top 25 largest papers, the San Francisco Chronicle suffered the most, losing 22.7% of their weekday sales. And among the top 25 largest circulation newspapers, 10 had declines in weekday sales of more than 10%. So, you know, I just think it's the trend, you know, out with the old, in with the new, and, you know, newspapers are sort of inconvenient these days. So are magazines. I mean, I'm an avid subscriber to Game Informer magazine, and for a long time, even now, I still look forward to getting that magazine in the mail, but something new just happened from last month's issue. I got an email saying that my new May subscription was ready to be read through my email digitally, and that had never happened before. So it is quite a phenomenon that is happening, and you know, it is impacting media that I care about, such as, you know, that magazine, but it's definitely something that should be taken notice of, and I would stock up on those newspapers if you want to keep them, because they're not going to be around for long.